All right, so everything becomes easy when I take it one step at a time. Take a minute to write down this affirmation and repeat it throughout the week, knowing that you took one step closer to passing the exam by showing up here today. What is one step you can take this week to get closer to passing the exam? And you can put it in the chat or you can come up off mic. What is one step you guys can take this week? Review the code. We're going to do a little bit of that today, Tiara. We're going to do a little bit of, yes. And we talked about that last week too, right? Walk a hill. Yes, that will get the juices flowing. But as regarding to the code of ethics, one of the things we say is to try. I like to read the code of ethics like I read my Bible. Reading it every single day. I read a little bit out of it every single day. We're going to read little bit of it today, but reading a little bit out of the code of ethics every day to kind of just get it in your bones. We're going to do some ethical questions today. Tunessa, yes, take the materials out of storage, y'all. Take it on out. We're doing this thing. We might as well take it out of storage. I love it. Review the code of ethics, walk a hill. I believe in physical. Y'all, apparently, I can tell lately, I believe in moving the body that helps create oxygen going to the brain. We're feeding our brain when we move our body. So, Amanda, I love that you said walk a hill. And Shanika, I love that you said staying positive. There's this dude that he's a chef, but he cooks for a sorority house. Anyways, 18 months ago, he had cancer, and he just gave an update 2 weeks ago that his cancer has gone into remission. And he said he did everything wrong, all the things the experts tell him to do. He didn't do none of that, but what he did do was stay positive. He stayed positive, and he felt like staying positive is what helped him to go into remission with his cancer. And so I love the staying positive is such a powerful intention. And so love that one, Shanika. And yes, Tanessa, let's take the stuff out of out of the garage. All right, our next affirmation is I am able to handle any challenge that comes my way. I am able to handle any challenge that comes my way. And again, how we started this session off, you guys are here on a Saturday. It is beautiful outside. And y'all are here on a Saturday afternoon being like, I'm not giving up on this thing. I can handle this. I'm just going to ground myself in some material and handle any challenge that comes your way. You can put it in the chat or you can come off mute. What's a challenge that you handled this week or this month or since I've seen you? What's a challenge that you've handled? I'm going to brag about myself. I did a 5K last Saturday. That was a challenge. I like saying that I did it because I'm going to do it again. What's a challenge that you've handled this week? Can you think of anything? A challenge for Tanessa is going to be taking her material out of storage. Yes, Sierra. Leg day. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. Leg day.
I was trying to type it, but it was taking too long. I said the last minute stuff for my kids because we just got information about Lauren's majorette tryouts, and then she has honor society, and then Haley has honor society. So yeah, they just literally told us last week about a lot of this stuff. So luckily, I'm at a place in my life where I keep being placed as far as employment with people who understand, because my supervisor was like, just maneuver my schedule like I need to so I can be there for my kids' events and also, of course, still come to work or be at work because, of course, I work for the federal government. So y'all know what that's going through. So yeah, that's what I'm going through for the last 2 weeks.
Being a single mama, working for the federal government during this environment or anytime actually, having kids that are active, and then you came and showed up for this test study day, that absolutely is handling challenges that come your way. Good job, Tanessa. And I saw Shanika, you put in the chat, try and stay committed to setting a few days. Uh-oh, I lost it.
I was saying, one of my challenges is trying to stay committed to studying a few days a week with an active toddler who's almost 2. So, but I'm striving to stay committed.
That is, she's almost 2, Shanika.
Yes.
That is, I can't believe that it's already been 2 years. Hold on, y'all. I lost it and it's back. Let me share my screen again. I can't believe that baby's almost 2. That is absolutely a challenge. Hold on. I'm trying to see if it is sharing. It is not.
I don't know if it's a challenge or if they would consider it right or wrong, but in my mind, I just went ahead and fast forwarded my group therapy for next week and put their certificate in their file and just have faith that they're just going to show up because they know they're supposed to. Even though, they actually didn't, I feel like they should, and so I hope they do. I don't know, I just thought it would be a good thing.
I love that, Amanda, because I do think that social work, a big part of social work is having faith. Absolutely is having faith. I love that. You're gonna just trust that they're gonna show up. I think, like pushing past your fear of how things are supposed to be done and doing it a way like trusting your gut, that's um absolutely a challenge that you face. Y'all, I'm trying to get my screen to share again. It keeps on dropping. Give me just a second. And let's see if I can get it to do. And my apologies for this. Jessica, did you have a challenge you faced this week that you want to share with us? We would love to hear it.
I guess it was kind of work related. One of the families that we sponsored at Christmas, one of the children, he was 6 and had cancer, so he passed away on the 18th. So just trying to, support the staff and then going and supporting the family. So that was kind of a challenge. It was a challenging week last week.
Honey, we're sending you so much love. Sending you so much love. That is challenging. Is there anything we can do to support you, Jessica?
Yeah, just prayers and love and thoughts and that's it.
We're sending it your way. All right, y'all. It's coming back. Was this one of your kids, Jessica?
No, I only met the family because of our Christmas giveaway. And so, um, yeah.
Oh, y'all are seeing all the things. I was trying to share this. All right. There we go. And our last affirmation, you guys, is I'm in the, oh, I love this one. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. Repeat this affirmation daily when you go to sleep. I love repeating affirmations when I go to sleep so that I'm not thinking about work or somebody else's children. I'm thinking about what I want to think about. I'm affirming over myself into my dream life, into my subconscious. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. Let go whatever you did not do for that day and allow the last thought you have for the day to be affirming. I hope you guys will commit to doing this week. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. All right, here we go with our exam practice. So, last week we talked about breaking down the exam, and I break it down into 4 areas: human development, diversity and behavior in the environment, assessment and intervention planning, interventions with clients and client systems, professional relationships, ethics, and values. I love that Tiara said that her goal for this week is to read a little bit out of the Code of Ethics. And I always just like to remind people, because I know, especially when I was teaching, folks love just focusing on social workers' ethical responsibility to the clients because it's the juiciest one, right? It's so juicy. But our ethical responsibility extends to our colleagues, it extends to our practice settings, it extends to professionals, it extends to the social work profession, and even to the broader society. So when you are reviewing, and I hope you'll review on a daily basis the Code of Ethics. And I love that Tinessa told us last week she even bought it from the NASW Code of Ethics website, and it was less than $10. When you are reviewing the Code of Ethics daily, move past our responsibility to our clients and go into the colleagues, because I think this is a big one right here. The colleagues, there's a lot of stuff we may not realize going on ethically that we need to know in our practice setting as professionals, to the social work profession and the broader society. Okay. So as a reminder, and you're going to see this a few more times this week, how we're going to just practice here. And I'm not saying that everybody else is doing it. It's just how I always have done it, and help some of the people that I had the honor of studying with. It helps me. I know that ASWB has moved their questioning into the 3 answer choices. I don't have any of those answer options on this, but I still think it could potentially work. And so my goal, though, with you guys is not necessarily this format of taking the test, but to just slow you down. And again, remember, we're trying to relieve ourselves from test anxiety. So this format just helps me to slow down and really ground into what is the question asking me, not making any assumptions, not adding anything, and just staying present in where I am with this particular question. Okay. So first we're going to look at the question stem. Then we'll read the question in its entirety. We'll pull out the keywords. We'll look at our answer options. We'll get rid of 2 and or 1, depending on if you have 2 or 4. And then we'll pick the best of the answer options that are left. Both getting rid of the 2 or 1 and choosing the best out of the answer options we have left, we always want to make sure we have a rationale for why we're choosing it. So let's practice. I take out the answer options intentionally so that you can train your brain not to look at the answer options. So the question stem here is here we go. Their insurance company sent you a letter requesting information. Oh, sorry, went too far up. Didn't see that period there. Your best response is to, your best response. When we see your best response is to, what does that mean to you?
Ethics.
Why do you say that?
Because a best response is like, what do you want to do that's going to be ethically right for the client and for you righteously? That's how I'm thinking. Because if you say the wrong thing or give them the wrong advice, you're going to be held responsible for it.
And you know what, y'all, when Tanessa was just telling us that, remember last week, she said, actually, ethics is all throughout, regardless if it's human behavior in the social environment, regardless if it's an assessment question, regardless if it's a recall question, ethics seems to be woven through all of our questions, period, anyway, right? All right, so your best response is our question stem. Now we're going to read the question in its entirety. You have been working with a client for 6 sessions and they are covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. They have elected to pay in cash rather than use their insurance benefits. Their insurance company sent you a letter requesting information about the client's progress and the current focus of therapy. Your best response is to, what are the key words?
For me, it's self-pay. Like that stands out to me. And then they're requesting information, like progress.
I think there's one more too. For some reason, for me, 6 sessions. So
I was gonna say the length of time.
The length of time. All right. So now we have our answer options. Throw the letter in the trash and forget about it. Send the insurance company a complete copy of the file. Verify the validity of the letter and then copy and send the file. Send the requested information only with the client's written authorization. All right, we're going to do the whole thing in its entirety. Your best response is to, you have been working with a client for 6 sessions and they're covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. They have elected to pay in cash rather than use their insurance benefits. Their insurance company sent you a letter requesting information about the client's progress and the current focus of therapy. Your best response is to. Now we're slowing down, remember, ladies? So I want you to get rid of 2 responses for me before you go straight to the answer.
I would eliminate A first.
Throw the letter in the trash. Why are we eliminating that one?
Well, I mean, anytime someone says so, I mean, I wouldn't throw it in the trash. I mean, that's just like you didn't receive it at all. So I eliminate that one and then I eliminate B.
Which one?
I would eliminate A and B.
B, okay, And why are we eliminating B?
Sending the insurance information without consulting with legal supervisor, no. So I would say I wouldn't just send them the information without consulting with someone.
Even we didn't get consent to send the file. That's the biggest thing. We didn't even get consent from the client to say we can send their information.
So we've gotten rid of A and B. Does anyone have any what's the word? Protest? That's not the word, but anything different? Are y'all okay with getting rid of A and B? I'm looking at y'all's faces. Okay. So what we have left are C and D. Verify the validity of the letter, then copy and send the file. Send the requested information only with the client's written authorization. Out of those 2 options, which one is the best answer? Best response? Yes. D. Anyone else? Yeah. I want to just say too, I know I'm adding. I would never send the whole file anyway. Just know, y'all need to know that part. I would never send I would only, I try to limit whatever I send to anybody ever anyway, like only a little snippet of whatever, okay? But I agree with you too, all of you, send the requested information only with the client's written, I like that, written authorization, okay? Let's look at, we said D, yay, all right. All right, so let's look at the rationale. We're gonna read it even though we did really good, but the correct answer is D. While you could send the information of the client's verbal authorization, it would not be wise to do so. If the client later denied giving you authorization, it is hearsay issue. It is a hearsay issue and cannot be resolved. A piece of paper with the client's original signature on it in your file is a tremendous stress reducer in the event of litigation or complaint. I usually ask my clients to sign in blue ink because it does not photocopy well and it's easier to prove as genuine. Even if the client signs the release at the beginning of therapy, I encourage discussing it with them prior to release and then letting them determine if release is still their preferred choice. A is incorrect. This is not me. This is whoever wrote this question. Personally, I like this answer the best, even though it's wrong. Throw it in the trash. Perhaps it goes to my dislike of insurance companies, but you must respond because of the letter. You must respond because the letter could have consequences for the client's continued insurance coverage and or liability. However, you can never release information on a client without their express consent. I make it a practice to always talk to my client before I take any action on release of information requests. B is incorrect, and B was, I think Shanika got rid of that one first. Send the insurance company a complete copy of the file. Only if you enjoy being the focus of lawsuits and complaints against your license, the client has ultimate control over the release of their information. And C, which was verify the validity of the letter, then copy and send the file. Nope, even if the letter is valid and the request for information form is appropriate, legal, and binding, and your opportunity for payment is involved, the client always reserves the right to refuse to allow you to release information that does not comply with mandatory reporting requirements. I like that last part. Mandatory reporting require, because why the insurance even asking? You know what I mean? So mandatory reporting requirements, and if you have your client's expressed authorization. Good job. All right, so reminder, we're going to look at the question stem. We're going to read the question in its entirety. We're going to pull out the keywords. We're going to look at our answer options. We're going to get rid of 2 with rationale, and then we're going to pick the best of 2 with rationale. The question stem is the least chance of the email being intercepted is when you see something and you guys know that they'll have it bold and they'll have it in capital letters. So when you see the least chance of the email being intercepted, what does that say to you?
Isn't it like, okay, the email, I think, belongs to the agency, don't it? So, like, if you email somebody in a different department, like, I would think that's okay.
Well, we don't know what the answer options are yet. So I guess when we're looking at this one, Amanda, we're going to have 4 answer choices, and one of them is going to be three of them are going to be probably going to be intercepted, and one of them is going to be least likely to be intercepted. Does that make sense? So when we look at the answer options, 3 ways the email could actually be intercepted, and there'll be 1 way that it's least likely to be intercepted. So we'll look at our answer options and see what we get. Oh, wait, y'all. We didn't read the question. LP keywords, hold on. You solicit information about a client via an email request. The colleague sends you an email response with a summary of therapy. The email is not encrypted. You are concerned that the client's confidentiality may have been violated because you are not expecting an emailed response. The least chance of the email being intercepted is when. And remember, we're doing ethical questions. So what are the key words out of this question?
Not encrypted, confidentiality violated.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now the answer choices. The email is sent. This is the least likely. The email is sent. The email is received. You print the email for the client's file. The email is subpoenaed. All right. So we're going to pull it all together. You solicit information about a client via an email request. The colleague sends you an email response with a summary of therapy. The email is not encrypted. You are concerned that the client's confidentiality may have been violated because you are not expecting an email response. The least chance of the email being intercepted is when the email is sent, the email is received, you print the email for the client's file, the email is subpoenaed. What two do you think we can get rid of? Y'all like, I don't know.
I guess
Could it
maybe
be when
like,
it's oh, go ahead, Amanda.
like you sent it, like, okay, they sent it, but it could be a possibility, a chance that the person's mailbox was full, so they never received it. So maybe A would be the
We're gonna
best
get rid of
answer.
A. Okay. I'm gonna say this, Amanda. I like that you're getting rid of A. So because we have no control over, because I did it once. I put the wrong email at. I do it all the time actually. I invite people to these meetings because a lot of people have similar names, right? And so when I'm typing in to the the email, I might start with A, and Alicia comes up. And so then I'm like, oh, and I just hit it and I sent it to Alicia instead of Amanda, right? So one, when the email is sent, we have no control over that. What's another one we can get rid of?
I'm thinking D
I like that.
because
Yeah,
if
I
you're
know it has two C's, but D, like the email is okay, yeah.
yeah,
I just noticed that. Why are you thinking that, Jessica?
because if the client file is being subpoenaed, then it is being intercepted.
Intercepted.
It's intercepted means
Yes.
somebody's coming forward. So
Yes. I was thinking the exact same thing. Okay, so we got rid of A because we have no control when who they sent it to, right? And we're gonna get rid of D, the email is subpoena, because that is intercepted. So now we have when the email is received or when you print the email for the client's file. What is the least chance of the email being intercepted? When it's received or when you print the email for the client's file?
I just want
Okay.
to say, I hope this is one of them ones that don't be counted because I don't know.
What is holding you back on this one, Tanessa?
Just the logic that you all just said, because I definitely was gonna get rid of D because, like you all said, it's being intercepted. But my mind goes to the email received. I mean, I received it, so I know if I'm having an issue that might be the least chance of it being intercepted. And I was also thinking if I print the email out and leave it on the printer, somebody might get it. So I will get rid of C and choose B and just go on about my business.
Okay. All right, so we have 2 for B. Do we have anybody for the other one? The first C? I'm gonna check the chat, making sure. So Jessica said B. Safety, HIPAA, confident. Okay. Any, what about Shanika, Tiara? Do y'all have any thoughts? B, Shanika? I know Tiara's with her babies probably. C. Okay. C. Okay, Amanda, C. All right. I would love to hear, Tiara. Why are you thinking C? Is she talking?
Yeah, I kind of
Oh.
got stuck because I feel like B and C is kind of together because if you receive the email, you can print it out as well. But then that goes back to like Tanessa, it can be somebody can get it off the printer. So I don't know. That was the first thing that came when I saw it initially.
So what I hear you saying, which I think is also important to know when going back to what Amanda is doing, how she's facing a challenge this week, she's trusting her gut. I appreciate gut check.
I'm just thinking about paper files versus like electronic. That's what kind of came in my head. Like, you can always go back to the handy dandy paper.
All right, y'all. Let's see. I like that there was some half and half. I'm trying to get us there. There we go. C. Let's see what the rationale is. C was what Tiara and Amanda chose, I think, which was the printed one, right? Okay. Once received and printed, it's in your hands and you can protect the information. A, which was, what was A? The first one we got rid of.
I think that the email was sent.
Sent, yeah. When the email is sent, it goes to an email server and can be intercepted. B, which was the email is received. Just before the email is received by the recipient, it leaves the email server on it was to their computer. It can be intercepted at this time. This was just a really difficult one. And D, which was the email subpoenaed. Your email or your internet or email provider keeps a copy of everything you send and will release it pursuant to a legal court order request. Again, that was going to be like Tanessa said, which is going to hope for the best and keep going. All right, we're going to move on. What's the question stem? Read the question in its entirety, pull out the key words, look at your answer options, get rid of 2 with the rationale, and then pick the best of the 2 answer options. We're going to do this one. And the question stem starts here. When one talks about the duty to keep a promise, they are referring to the concept of, when one talks about the duty of the duty to keep a promise, they are referring to the concept of. When you see this question stem, what are your first thoughts?
Ethics.
I love that you always go there.
It's always ethics.
It's always ethics. And that is why we are all going to take Tiara up on her challenge and read our code of ethics this week, right? We're going to pick up the code of ethics if we haven't printed out, or we're going to purchase it off the website, or we're going to just go to the free copy online and read our code of ethics this week. All right, so now we're going to read the question in its entirety. Ethics are beliefs about what constitutes correct or proper behavior. The principles of right conduct and how to live as a good person are basic elements in the ethical principles of our profession. Our ethical code reflects one's obligations or duties. These basic elements are principles common to the helping profession. When one talks about the duty to keep a promise, they are referring to the concept of, so before we look at our our answer options, what are the key words?
Of course, ethics,
Mm-hmm.
Ethical principles of our profession, code of ethics. The duty to keep a promise would be something to stick out to me because that lets me know it's a particular, it's in a particular place of the code of ethics. Right conduct,
Mm-hmm.
proper behavior.
I think the biggest one, Tanessa, what you said is, even though we got all this whole big ass definition, really all they're wanting us to know is what is the duty to keep a promise.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes y'all know that they'll give us this big, all these extra words, but then really what do they want you to know? They want you to know where is the duty to keep a promise. All right, so then let's look at our answer options. Autonomy. Okay, when one talks about the duty to keep a promise, they are referring to the concept of autonomy, confidentiality, fidelity, or beneficence. What two can we get rid of when we're keeping a promise?
What does beneficence mean?
It means, I always think of, and y'all know me and my astrology. I always think of Jupiter. He's the great benefic. He gives you stuff. He's like blessing after blessing. It's almost like a benefactor, someone who's giving you something. Tiara said, I saw Tiara put something in the chat. A and D, autonomy and beneficence. Okay. Tiara, do you want to talk about why you want to get rid of A first?
Because autonomy is, that's autonomous. I mean, that's not the duty to keep a promise. It's
Like kind of what they can do for themselves, right?
yes, yeah. That's having your own autonomy. Yeah, that's your choice. That's not like pinky promising. That's I'm thinking about pinky promising. No.
And like we're not married to our clients, so I don't think it would be fidelity.
All right.
Like,
So Amanda wants to get rid of C. Really, Amanda?
yeah. I'll get rid of A and C.
Okay. So we all agreed that we're getting rid of autonomy. Before we move on, though, Tiara, do you want to talk about why you would get rid of beneficence?
Because when I see that, I feel like that's like you said, it's a benefactor. Like you're gaining something. Um, it's like a gift. I think I automatically think a gift. I kind of associate that with a gift.
It is,
Mhm.
absolutely. Does anyone want to talk about Amanda's choice to get rid of C, fidelity, when we're talking about our duty to keep a promise?
I do, because fidelity means you've done something to the utmost, to like to the letter, like you've been consistent and done it to the letter. So that's why fidelity was one that I would keep, because to me, I relate that with the duty to keep a promise, because that means you follow through. Fidelity means to follow through. So that's why I would keep it.
It means to keep a vow, which is like Amanda's saying, we're getting married. But even though we're not married to our clients, this question is asking us, what does the duty to keep a promise mean? Right? And so confidentiality doesn't mean to keep a promise, or does it? It just means whatever you
I was
say to
getting rid of
me,
that one
you're getting rid of that. Why are you getting rid of it, Tanessa?
because it don't have nothing to do with keeping a promise. I mean, confidentiality is more of keeping my mouth shut, not spreading, the information out. Whereas if we talking about promises, I don't care who get me caught telling you a promise. It just didn't go.
what the question is
It
asking.
didn't go what the question was asking. That was just like something. I mean, I think they probably put that on there because when we think about ethics, we always think about confidentiality.
Come on
So they were
through.
like, maybe if I throw this on here, they're gonna pick that because they just assume that's all that ethics is about is confidentiality. But like you said, you have to read more than just that first one. You got to read everything because when I saw that, I was like, where did I see that at? Because I kind of forgot, but I know what else I would pick now.
And again, this goes to slowing down and not just making assumptions as soon as we see the answer options. We see ethics and we see confidentiality. Bam, done. Next question. You saw that first word, ethics, and you saw confidentiality. Of course, we what's the word? They drill it in our brains that's what ethics means, is keeping a confidentiality. So slowing down and reading the question and making sure we understand what they're really asking us. But let's see what the what did we say? C, fidelity. All right. The correct answer is C, fidelity. The duty to keep one's promise or word. A, autonomy is incorrect. An individual's right to make his or own decisions. Y'all did really well with that definition. B is incorrect. Confidentiality, which is the duty to respect privacy and trust to protect information. And then D is incorrect. Beneficence, the duty to do good. Y'all got that one. Yay. Good job. Any questions, thoughts? You muted yourself, Amanda. You were unmuted. Did you want to say something?
Okay. How do you come up with these PowerPoint colorful slides?
Girl, I worked hard.
Man.
I worked hard. And I was telling the goddesses last week, these are all questions that I've just collected over the years from all of my own study materials and being able to teach and have access to questions and textbooks. And then I put it in a PowerPoint. And what I've said and still mean is, if you guys have questions that you want to bring to our study session, please email them to me and I'll add them to the PowerPoint. So they're not just my questions, but y'all's questions as well. And you can get to thrash it out. But yeah, I work hard on it, darling. Okay, to keep you engaged, I hope. Let's see. All right, remember, we're going to go straight to our question stem. Of the 4 overall ethical domains below, don't look at it though, of the 4 overall ethical domains below, which one does not apply to the social work profession? So I almost asked you, but I'm gonna let y'all tell me. When you see that question stem, of the 4 overall ethical domains below, which one does not apply to the social work profession? What does that mean to you looking at that question stem?
3 of them do and 1 of them don't.
Come on through. That's it. That's all it means, y'all. So that means when we do it the way we're about to do it, 3 of them we are going to get rid of. Okay. And we're going to get rid of them with rationale. And 1 of them we're going to keep. So which 3 are we going to get rid of? Oh, wait, first let's ask the question. Ethical codes are based on the ethical principles of a profession. These codes outline the values of the profession. They also create a guide to steer the behaviors of the profession. They also create a guide to steer the behaviors of the profession. Of the 4 overall ethical domains below, which one does not apply to the social work profession? What are some of the key words? Because we're slowing down still. I got excited. Keywords.
Ethical codes.
That's it. In our profession. Yeah. All right. So our answer options are the professional's qualities and characteristics, behavior towards other professionals and colleagues, behavior of professionals in a range of situations, behaviors of the client to the professional. Which 3 do apply to the social work profession? I hope that helped. Which 3 do apply to the social work profession? What you got?
B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
Who said that? Tanessa?
Yeah.
Tell me what you got. Tell
So
me why.
B is, I think it's in section 1. I don't know. I don't know about heart yet, but
It's two. It's
oh,
two.
it's 2. I
Section
knew it was in
two.
the beginning.
Yes. I love that you
Behaviors
know
toward
this. Good job.
other professionals and colleagues. I mean, like that's literally written in there, like
Yes.
verbatim, how we supposed to act with other professionals because we had that multidisciplinary team, and also how you work with your colleagues. I mean, that's just like chain of command type situation where we talk to the colleague first to try to address the situation. Then if that don't work, go to the supervisor. That type of stuff. Behavior of professionals in a range of situations. Of course, that looks like how you act if you're in certain settings. That comes into play when we are having group with one person, then we see them out in the street type situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then behaviors of the client to the professional. I mean, with ethics, it's like how you act and how they act. We know how to terminate if it gets to the point where it's unsafe and stuff like that. So that's how I was looking at that. When it said behaviors, I mean, that's literally the code of ethics. It said it kind of in the question stem too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing? What does not apply? So that's how my rationale was. I don't know about anybody else.
I would love if anybody has something different. I saw Jessica literally throw up her hands when Tanessa said her, like, that's it. That was what I saw Jessica basically saying. But does anyone have something different?
That was what I was saying. But then as I read D, and I'm overthinking it maybe, is as behaviors of the client to the professional. And I know that that's in the part of how the professional works with the client. So are they just being like trying to trick me with the wording? You know what I'm saying? When they talk about what's that transference and all this other stuff. So that was my flag is up with D. My flag was up with D.
I appreciate that. Because it's not saying, and let's read it, behaviors of the client to the professional, not the behavior of the professional to the client. All right. Anyone have some more thoughts? So let's just get rid of two that I think we all agree on. B and C.
C, I'm about to say B and C for sure.
Yeah, B and C.
So I was thinking A, is a part of the ethical codes when we look at integrity. Those could be qualities and characteristics, I would think, in the service that we do. Dignity and worth of individuals. So I think of those as qualities, the characteristics of a social worker. So I would
So it
include
does apply. So that answer, according to Shanika, applies to the social work profession because of the preamble we have. Client's right to self-determination. Tanessa, what were you gonna say, darling?
I was trying to move my screen. I wasn't trying to change that.
Oh.
But I like Shanique's theory. I mean, what she said. So yeah, I think I might change my answer, but I ain't gonna tell y'all what I changed it to.
Well, we're about to go there.
Yeah, I'm looking at D too because it's behaviors of the client to the professional. That kind of got me confused. Yeah, it's the wording that's confused. Cause yeah,
It's like Jessica said, they be putting words in there to throw us
yeah.
off. I'm glad you eating because I don't want to be the only one eating on this call. Thank you.
I was so hungry. I was like, oh my God, it smells so good. I had to go ahead and start. All right, let's put our answer in the chat, y'all. We're right, wrong, but we're gonna just go for it. What were you thinking? Okay, Tanika. Amanda, what you thinking, babe? Did you put it in there and I missed it?
I'm thinking A, because, like, unfortunately, sometimes, we have to endure when they get angry and cuss out us and all that stuff. And it really, I don't like it, but like, I know I just have to endure it. It don't really matter, like, that I don't like it, because it's always supposed to be about them.
But that's what I think Tanessa was trying to say, but she had got rid of it. But I liked her rationale. And Code of Ethics tells us what our behavior should be towards clients who are doing that. Again, the professional's behavior towards the client who may be cussing us out, who may be doing all the things. It doesn't give us any ethics on how. It's not really saying how. Tanessa, you did a better job. But it's the professional's behaviors towards unruly clients is what our code of ethics gives us. Does that make sense? Let's just read the rationale and see what the answer is. Okay, so we got mostly D's and one A. Let's see. Come on, Renita. The answer is D. And I don't even know what the questions are anymore. The correct answer is D. This is not an oh, I like how they said it. This is not an ethical, the client's behavior is not an ethical concern for the social worker. The ethics, again, is how are we behaving toward the client, not how the client is behaving towards us. So, Amanda, you're saying it, right? Like, I have to deal with it. And the code of ethics tells you how to deal with it. And so, if they had said professional, our behavior toward the client, they do give us a guideline, but they don't give us a guideline for our client's behavior towards us. They don't have any ethics towards us. And so you were saying it. You were saying it. You just flipped it. Does that make sense, Amanda?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. She just got to flip it around.
So how do you guys feel about this one? Does you feel all right? Hey, we have one more question, y'all. Y'all good for one more? You feeling all right?
It's almost like we're playing bingo, like.
But I'm hoping hearing the rationale helps, like, because I think for me, like I was telling the girls before, I'm gonna go back. The goddesses before, when I had to take the test the second time, I got in a study group and listening to the other women's rationale helped me to slow down and like think about the question instead of going straight to an answer. And so I'm hoping the more we do this, y'all feel more comfortable about slowing down and thinking about the question, not getting stuck in paralysis, but just slowing it down just a little bit. Slowing it down just a little. Okay. Last question. Question STEM. According, it should say to the TerraSoft, your best response is to. And so without reading the question, what does according to the TerraSoft, your best response is to? What does that mean for you?
I think about TerraSoft and that court case. Was that the court case and the duty to warn?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then that second half of the question STEM.
Ethics. It's ethics. Because that whole case was in ethics.
Yeah, the whole thing is that. Tanessa, since you're on mic and I'm chewing, do you mind reading the question in its entirety for me?
I had to do this last time. Okay, here we go. It says you have been working with a 42-year-old man for 5 sessions in your treatment centers around depression. During your 5th session, he divulges that he is HIV positive and that this is the primary issue he ruminates on. He indicates that he has known about his condition for about 6 months, but is unsure how long he was positive prior to his testing. he states that he has no intention of telling his partner about his health status. According to Tarasoff, your best response is to.
This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
What are keywords?
Tarasoff.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got to think about HIV positive. He's not going to tell his partner. I would be thinking about them, really.
Huh?
I said those would be the things that stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but okay. So it's the client's job to know he has HIV, but the only people that have to report it are the doctor and the health department. I think is what I read.
Let's even think about what Tarasoff is. Does anyone want to, since that's what they're grounding us in, what does Tarasoff say? What is the duty?
To warn.
Isn't safety?
What did you say, Tanissa?
Isn't it safety?
Danger?
Yeah.
Danger.
If there's a threat or danger, you have to warn the other individual regarding the threat.
Mm-hmm. So that to harm or to hurt, kill them, right?
Right.
Okay. So now let's look at the so I saw what you were doing, Amanda, but I was like, but just think about what Tarasoff says, and I don't want to give it away. Okay, just lean into Tarasoff. Okay, lean into Tarasoff. You have a duty to warn the partner. You have a duty to insist the partner warn his partner. You should work with the client until he's willing to disclose to his partner. Make a full report of his status to the local health department. What are we getting rid of first?
Some of the health department, I think, and that's just because of the simple fact that's confidentiality, and he can sue.
Mm-hmm. Getting rid of D.
And that's a HIPAA violation too. I mean, technically.
And I was saying C because, he every time they're intimate or whatever, he's exposing his partner.
But is that a Tarasoff issue? This is a good one, y'all.
Yeah, because the potential of infecting his partner.
Mm-hmm. But is that a Tarasoff issue?
I was about to say, because you said that, Ms. Renita, that I would take A off because, I mean, I don't know.
And even just look at the answer options.
Yeah.
2 of them are very, very similar.
Yeah.
Which ones are similar?
You know what? I'd change that. Would B and C be similar?
A and B are similar.
A and B are similar. That's why you moved Jessica off, because I know the answer now. Okay. Let me mute my mic.
And it might be, I think that you guys are, your homework this week, I gave you homework last week, I forgot what it was, but your homework this week, besides doing your affirmation, is to read what Tarasoff says. Because I know you're feeling like HIV is putting somebody in danger. But what Tanessa said, making a full report of his status to the local health department is a HIPAA violation. Why would it not be a HIPAA violation in A as well then, right? So let's get rid of A and D. How's that feel?
Yeah, I will get rid of A and D.
Okay.
With Tarasoff, you do have a duty to warn, but with HIV, I believe I was reading over the code of ethics this morning. I believe in this case, the Tarasoff, it says you have the duty to kind of encourage them. Like, we never want to really encourage, it's always self-determination until it comes to Tarasoff. Then we can encourage them to tell their partner.
Social work is the least restrictive.
Mm-hmm.
Always the least restrictive, y'all. Least restrictive. So with B and C, what would your answer options be? And what would be the best answer option?
Probably C.
Do you have a rationale for that?
Well, I mean, I think you should like work with them and try to get them to trust you, and hopefully you can make some suggestions to them about, look, whoever you're involved with, maybe you should let them know, and then maybe they'll start to, maybe you'll influence them.
Anybody else have something different? Okay. Tara, same B. What else we got?
Are we saying our answer?
I'm Tara, is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a rationale for it?
I mean, B and C can go hand in hand, but I feel like C is just, it can just prolong things. I feel like it's just a duty, because if you're intentionally infecting your partner that you're with, we just need to kind of get to it. We can explore, after that, explore, get resources, educate, but when they say best, I always think about like kind of like the first. So we need to insist, steady, warn.
Anybody else have something? Do y'all want to put your answer options or answer choices in the chat? Just go with your gut, ladies.
Mhm.
Okay, Amanda. Jessica. Tanessa, you got something?
Absolutely not. But
You can't leave it blank.
I wouldn't. I was gonna go any, mini, money, mo between B and C. I mean, I got a strong feeling to say C with Amanda though. So I go with C. Just they say just pick C.
I like that too. Just pick C. I mean, especially when, yeah, I like that. C is a good one. All right, let's see. Ooh, I like that I was doing this. The correct answer is C. You should work with the client until he's willing to disclose to his partner. And there's no rationale for that one. Why do you think the correct answer was C?
Can we go back to the answer choices?
I mean, I guess what you were saying about Tarasoff, that in this, well, and I know you're not supposed to add, but in this day and age, HIV is not like the death sentence it was a couple of decades ago because of the treatment options. And then when you said social work is always the least restrictive, and that would be the least restrictive, working with him until he's ready to disclose that information to the partner.
I like that Tierra's like, let's just get to it, but is that the least restrictive option?
Also, to piggyback off what Jessica is saying, I also feel like, and it just came to me, like, who is your client?
What does that mean?
Because, I mean, one, we got to stay in our lane. Two, a lot of social workers, like, who is your client? Who came in? Who are you working with? So if we working with him, we can't just, looking at the options, we still got to work with him. And if we're going to use, like what some of you all said, encourage him to tell the partner, I mean, we can encourage him to do that, but what is he here for? What are we working with this person for? He just told you some information. That might be something we can work on in the process of, working with him until he feels like he can tell his partner. But if we just gonna take away the therapy sessions that we at the Center for Depression, and he told us this, it seems like now we're gonna take this and make it all about his HIV status, and we're not treating him for what he came in the center for.
You're gonna lose your client.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna be out there doing all the things. All right. I'm gonna say, and I know we shouldn't bring our I think I knew the answer. because I used to work with HIV, and I knew that we didn't have the right to tell the partner. It was going to be a HIPAA violation. And so you're probably, I don't know if you saw it in your last test, but I like what Tanessa said. Who's your client, and are you violating HIPAA? And how do I continue to keep rapport with this person to get the outcome that I need, which is for him to tell his partner? All right. So, come to the end, ladies. Thank you for joining me today. I always just want to make sure y'all know this. Even if you do not know the answer, you still want to pick C. But you have a 25, and now if there's a three answer choice, 33% chance of getting it right. You have 0% chance of getting it right if you leave it blank. So even if you're like, bingo, I don't know which one. I love that Amanda said that. Just pick something, and at least you have a 25 to 33% of getting it right. The night before the test is just as important as the day of the test. Self-care is essential, y'all. I say that. Make sure you don't eat anything that's going to upset or tear up your stomach, because if you're already feeling anxious, you want to just have a calm belly. So just have some fiber, some oatmeal, something, right? Rest, and make sure you get a good night's rest. I love what Amanda said. Move your body. Go for a walk the morning of, if you're able to. I love peppermint essential oils. It helps stimulate thought. It helps stimulate the brain. So you can even just start using a peppermint essential oil. And always, always, always see yourself passing. See the word pass go flashing across that screen. Pass, pass, pass. Every time you see the word pass, yep, I passed that test. It's already done. I've already passed it. It's already done. Okay? All right. How y'all feel about that?
Yeah. I think the Pepto-Bismol pills are supposed to help soothe our stomachs too. So I think I'm gonna get me some Pepto-Bismol pills and try it on out.
All right, Amanda. Enjoy yourself. All right, so we're going to do this again in May, probably just one Saturday, because May is super busy for me, and I will send you an email. But y'all, May 30th, I'm asking everybody, I'm putting on an event on May 30th for the Goddesses of Social Work. It's a film documentary. My Mama Joe, I can't show the flyer yet because it's going to be at the Rosa Parks Museum, and they have to approve it. But it's from 9 to 2, and it is a Goddess of Social Work event. So I'm asking all the Goddesses of Social Work to please try your best to show up. And I might even be reaching out to you if you are a person who has taken care of an elderly person with dementia or Alzheimer, and you want to be a panelist or a guest speaker. Come and reach out to me, because I would love for you to talk to the people who are going to be showing up. So it's from 9 to 2 at the Rosa Parks Museum on May 30th. Please mark your calendars, even though I'm not able to share the flyer with you just yet, and think about coming in, or even just volunteering to help me out. It's just me. Registration table, something like Renita, I'll just come and sit at the registration table for you. I would, or even because I'm able to do snacks and food, a little bit of food, not dinner or nothing, but they said we can't have some food. So even if you're just helping me with the food table or something, I need the Goddesses to show up and help. Plus, you're going to get free CEUs. So May 30th from 9 to 2, Rosa Parks Museum Auditorium. Y'all be thinking about that for me, and try to see if you can finagle a way to show up, okay? All right, so I'll let y'all know. Now I'm thinking May 17th, but I also have book club. So it might be May 17th or the 24th. Okay, that's when we'll do this again. All right.
Renita, I got a quick favor.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak on, when the first slide, new moon and Taurus, what kind of energy is that giving for any soon, like this season when it comes to the testing? I wanted to ask you that.
You know what? That's such a great question. That's such a great question. One, I went to the park today because the new moon is tomorrow, but we're in the new moon energy right now. And it's in Taurus, and that's an earth moon. So I'm eating a solid earth, right? I went to the park today and took my shoes off, and I stayed there for an hour and I journaled again, paper, pencil on writing, and said and scripted, Tiara, said what it was I'm planning to experience over the next 6 months. Took my shoes off and put my feet in the ground. I wanted to even talk about that, like the day before the test, do all the things to kind of like ground yourself. And so because right now we got all this information in our minds. We just had all these ethics questions and got half of them right, half of them wrong. It's just like, oh my God. So now we just got to ground ourselves. We go to the park, we take our shoes off, put our feet in the grass, we eat grounding foods. With the Taurus new moon as it relates to testing, Tiara, I'm going to say, get a piece of paper and a pencil, or if it's a pen, and do the 3-6-9 method about, I will pass this test 3 times. I will pass this test by 10 points. 6 times, I have already passed this test and have my license, and the board has mailed me my license 9 times. Do something that grounds you into this testing experience. Set some type of new moon intention, like this is already done. It's already done. With the new moon, plant a seed. I'm gonna give you this one last thing. I like for new moons in the earth signs to get a new plant and to write it down in a piece of paper, on a piece of paper, just small paper, tear it off, what your intention is for this test, and put it inside one of your plants. It could be an old plant, it could be a new plant, and watch yourself nourish that plant. Water it. Every time you water it, every time you're putting it out in the sun, you're nourishing that this test, you've already passed this test. It's already done. It's already done. And that CBT, you're doing a behavior that your mind is like, oh, I'm nourishing this test. I've gotten, it's already done. It's already handled. Look how this thing is growing. CVS has some money trees recently. I don't know where you guys are. Go get you a money tree. Write out your intention about this test for the new moon that's happening tomorrow. Put that intention in your plant and then nourish that plant, knowing that it's bringing you money because this thing is already done. Right? Is that helpful? Okay, good. All right, guys. I'll see y'all in May. Hopefully, I'll see you at the Rosa Parks Museum on May 30th. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Bye. Joanne's is closing. Go support them.